Over the last 3 months, we've seen nothing but AI this, AI that, agents this, Claude this, fuck Chat GPT, the whole nine, and the world is moving so damn fast. And if you are anything like me, you feel that you need to keep up, while you also feel absolutely lost on what to do. And I want to share my opinion as somebody who is non-technical, as somebody who has very little experience in the AI domain, and as somebody who quite literally opened Claude Code and just started doing. Now, obviously, there's all the news about Mythos and Claude just having absolutely gone to shit, and somehow ChatGPT being the best AI software and Codex being the best AI software right now because Chat 5.4 is just absolutely ridiculous. But what does this actually mean for what we do as entrepreneurs, right? For those of you who don't know, I run an agency that helps fitness influencers sell fitness coaching. Well, I guess market, sell, and run fitness coaching businesses while they just continue posting content, right? That's everything that I do. And all that I have realized is that the playbook is changing every day. Every day there's a new update with AI. Every day there's a new way of thinking that is no longer invalid. And it just seems like the way that we have to approach things fundamentally changes. So I have 3 things that I think are absolute essentials that have served me really well, having opened Claude Code a month and a half ago and just started building with it. And keep in mind, this is coming from somebody who's not technical, but these are things that have served me wildly well, have served my team wildly well, and I think are going to do me really well for the next year as well. So the first thing is how to think about AI. Now, I've heard so many perspectives that I really, really love about how to be thinking about using AI and how to be capitalizing on it, basically. And my favorite one is from a guy from Alex Hormozi, fucking shocker, where you break down every single step of the workflow. And he talks about how he was made for this, and me being an autistic little fuck, this makes perfect sense for me as well. But the bigger thing that I think is the way that people should actually be thinking about it is not in terms of the actions that you take, but in terms of the beliefs that you destroy. Tell me if this makes sense. And tell me if you have had an experience similar to this. You start thinking about doing something, and immediately your thoughts get put into this cage of what is possible. And there's a couple of layers that you're able to go up and up, and you're able to work yourself up this ladder, or for those of you who want to think about it the other way, you're able to think deeper and deeper. And that vertical is constrained by what you think is possible. For any entrepreneur out there, this is the very, very common analogy of limiting beliefs. If you are in sales at all, you know that you have to break limiting beliefs for people so that they can help get to that next level. Or when talking about entrepreneurship with your friends and talking about how to approach certain problems, breaking limiting beliefs is huge, absolutely huge. And I think the exact same thing applies with AI, because what we previously thought was not possible and what previously guided our lines of thinking is now removed. So much of it is we've now shattered a cage and we've unlocked another layer of thinking, whether it's above or below, that we're able to go into so much deeper. And constantly being able to not only challenge your own beliefs, but have people challenge your beliefs. It's insane. My mind has been blown. For the first time in a year and a half, I actually feel overwhelmed with how much there is to learn, how much there is to actually look at. And it's fucking exciting. It's super exciting. I wake up and I mean, everybody does that same scene. They play that infamous Iron Man scene or Tony Stark scene where it's like, wake up, daddy's home, and they get going with their Claude Code, their nicotine, their white monsters, whatever the hell it is, right? And it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. So that's the number one thing that I have noticed with AI now. The second thing is, you do not know best. I have learned this, and one of the biggest things that people have always said, which I fucking disagree with if you know how to use it right, is people are scared that the newer generation of people aren't learning how to think because they're just outsourcing all of their thinking to AI. They're outsourcing all of their, I guess, brain power to AI. And if you are a smart human being, fucking good, because that's the way that it should be. The reality is, at every single thing that I'm trying to learn, I'm probably really bad at. It's just the reality, right? If I want to figure out why my back hurts, right? I'm standing in this video and I'm walking around because I hurt my back at the gym. Not like anybody cares, but if I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with my back, I'm literally starting at a level 0. Why would I try to think that I'm a level 8? Why would I try to think that I'm a level 7? Why would I try to think that I'm a level 1? I don't know shit. Why the hell would I think about it? Right? The first thing that I thought, oh, I got a slipped disc. Huh? Like, what logic led me to that? Nothing. It doesn't make sense. So, when I am trying to think about the capabilities of AI with how fast it is growing, the only people that are going to move it forward is AI and the people around me. Because AI is limited by your creativity, right? Everybody knows this, right? There are people solving the world's problems, and there's people trying to figure out what they're going to eat for lunch, and both of them are using the exact same AI tools for it. So it quite literally is limited by your ability to think. And the only way to actually get better with it that I have found is to try to rapidly expand that thinking as fast as possible. I have a 20-something person team. Actually, let me find the number. Where the hell is the number of people that are on my team? I don't actually think I know all of them either, but that's a different story altogether. I can't even find it. But we've got a lot of people on the team. Now, I think that it is my responsibility as somebody who gives a shit about learning to go seek as much information from these people as possible. I'm going to use a very blatant example from something that I just fucking did. I just hopped off a call with 2 of my setters, right? And 3 of my setters, apologies. And I was asking them what's been going on, what they think about, and what they had ideas about. And when I say ideas, I gave them this entire context that I just gave you guys, which is the way that I'm going about thinking AI and like that layer thingy. And immediately they came up with 4 things that I would have never come up with. Clean and clear. So meaning I could have spent the next 5 years building something, which I may do, I might not do, that would have been useless to them because the smallest things are the things that they pointed out right away. Things that can be solved like this. Things that can be solved tomorrow. It's absolutely insane. It's ludicrous because I would have never thought about that. And if AI is limited by my ability to think about it, that means my team's performance and their quality of life and quality of work, quite frankly, is limited by my ability to come up with it. Meaning if I never had that conversation with them, then I would have never known that, hey, these things can just be removed, right? Hey, these things could actually be adjusted. And I can get into the nitty-gritty in another video, but this is just kind of my perspective because I would have hated myself if I didn't press record on this video. I absolutely think just a fundamental fucking law is to have your thinking and your ideas outsourced because your brain is not ever the smartest being. It's just not. Yeah, unreal. And then the third thing, which is a data set that I've 100% got from my business partner, brilliant lad. It needs to be fun. It needs to be fun. I saw a video, as dumb as it was, talking about the only difference between you and Tony Stark is that Tony Stark had unlimited API tokens or API credits, whatever it is. I'm not technical. But I laughed at it at first, and then I thought about it, and then I really thought about it, and I realized, no, the difference is he was having fun. That's the thing. He was having fun. And with how fast everything is moving and how fast everything is going, it's easy to do exactly what I've done and get stressed out by it and say, oh, I'm not keeping up. But the reality is you just gotta have fun. You just gotta enjoy it. Because as soon as I started changing up my mindset of, hey, let me build something that's awesome. Let me go help people, right? I find helping people insanely fun. It's super fulfilling for me. I would much rather do things for others than I would myself. That is probably a quite universal thing if you're watching this video. And that's fun for me. And building that stuff is really, really fun. So having that top of mind instead of, oh, I need to build this to make more money. The money's a byproduct. Right? The money's a byproduct. It's like, I'm not limited by, well, I guess everybody's limited by capital to some degree, but it's like, I'm not limited by capital for my fucking Codex subscription or my Claude subscription, right? So the max plan gets you basically, if you're running out on a max plan, you're doing good in life. But anyways, the concept of just leading with fun and starting with play instead of having to go straight to, okay, this is a to-do, has made this wildly easier, and I've made wildly more steps. I felt like, so I went and visited Vancouver for the last month and a bit to go see my family, and it was fun, to some degree. Outside of work, I had a lot of fun, right? I got to see friends, I got to catch up with family, I got to go do things that I don't normally get to do here out in Bali, but one thing that I just lacked was the fun within work, because I spent so much of my time playing catch up with people and enjoying that aspect of my life. It felt like I was only taking care of fires inside of work. So my month and a half, 2 months that I've spent with Claude and just trying to bulldoze my learning, it was never coming from a place of fun. It was coming from a place of need. And what that led me to was actually getting really frustrated by the way that the world was evolving and the way that my business needed to be run. And now that I'm in an environment that actually is curated for focus and is optimized for exactly what I want and exactly what I need, it's so much easier. It's so much easier to build things for my team. It's so much easier to talk about things with my friends. It's so much easier to be completely present in what I am doing, whether that is personal, whether that is business, whether that is, well, those are the only two facets that I give a shit about. But yeah. So those are the three biggest things that have just been on my mind. I'm sure that there's probably less than a handful of people that have gotten to this point of the video and listens to me yap for, how long has this been? 14 minutes and whatever seconds. But my guess is that you probably share some of the same opinions. And if you do, I would love to hear your opinions, because this is quite literally my favorite thing in the world right now. There's not a thing that I enjoy more than trying to figure out a way to be useful to people and using AI to do so. And I understand that I'm also super green at this. So if you have any advice, if you guys have any wisdom that you would like to impose on me, I'm all ears, because I understand that I'm super green at this. I understand that I'm super new at this, and I understand that the biggest thing and best thing that I can do for myself and everyone around me is just widen my perspective and try to increase my capacity for the way that I think. So if any of this relates to you, feel free to leave a comment. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could share this with somebody. that might be able to relate, because I think that helping everybody increase the way that they are thinking about how the world works right now is nothing but fantastic. So consider dropping a like, consider subscribing, and if you have any thoughts, can't wait to hear them. But catch you guys in the next one.